This is advice for bookkeepers on 3 things I would do differently if I was starting my bookkeeping business today. My name is Morgan and I'm a bookkeeper from FinePoints.biz, and my goal is to help you get organized. I started my business about 5 years ago and I've learned a lot along the way, and there's some things that I was not prepared for and that I would change if I was starting again today.
So I forgot to mention, if you clicked on this video, you'd definitely be interested in my free downloaded checklist, How to Start a Bookkeeping Business. So check the description box below for that.
So my first piece of advice is be prepared to work from home. This is one thing that I thought I was excited about, but actually had some downsides that I was surprised about. The first thing I would recommend is get a network of bookkeepers that you can rely on, or even other work from home people. So I found that I had all these questions that I had no idea who to go to. I had one friend who was a bookkeeper, and so I'd ask her questions, but I really feel like I would have benefited from a larger network of bookkeepers, maybe people who even met in person periodically and just talked about business problems or specifically bookkeeper issues. One thing that did surprise me was how much I really needed to be a techie person for my business. And I was always fairly comfortable with technology. Even among my peers, I was probably one of the stronger lay people who, I could figure things out on the computer fairly well. But owning my own business was a whole new set of things. I had to figure out any computer problems, how to back up my data, how to save passwords, how to get through any QuickBook issues that I had, how to work on my website. The list went on, and there was always something that was kind of popping up that I was surprised and that I had to be the one to figure it out. Going along with this, I also didn't have a very good schedule for working from home. So I was trying to save a lot of money on childcare. So I would be with my kids during the day. I made a video about childcare ideas also, I'll link that below. So I would be with my kids during the day, and then I was working nights and weekends. And then I realized this wasn't really what I preferred, because during any potential family time, I needed to get out my computer and do some work. And for a period of time, that was okay because we had some really specific goals about paying off loans. So, for a year or two, I was okay working hard, grinding to get that goal done. But after that, I realized that that wasn't the lifestyle that I wanted. So I was able to use some of those creative, free childcare ideas, as well as just structure my schedule so I could be really productive on the times that I wanted to work. Let me know in the comments if you've worked from home and what was most surprising about it. I do have a whole series on working from home, so I'll leave that link down below. There's a playlist, so you can check that out if that is something that you are interested in. The second thing that I would do differently, and my advice for you, is focus on one thing. So that applies to a variety of different areas. First of all, if you can specialize in one type of bookkeeping, that is great. I've talked about that in other videos, so pick a niche and then specialize in that so that you are really valuable and really marketable to all those types of people. Whether it's Etsy sellers, dentists, attorneys, nonprofits, whatever it is, that will help you a lot. And the other thing is focus on one particular software. So at this time in my business, I want to focus on just QuickBooks Online. So instead of learning all different softwares, if you just specialize in one and only take clients that have that thing, again, you're more valuable because you know that software in and out rather than having to relearn things all the time for every different client that you have. And experience has also taught me to be even more picky about the clients that I accept. So at first you just feel like you want to take every single client that you possibly wants to hire you. But in hindsight, I feel like that's not always the best idea. A lot of times people think they need a bookkeeper, but maybe they don't have enough money yet to hire you, which is totally understandable. You can help them maybe get started and do their own books. I think it's smart to have an income threshold. So you're working with a certain size business, and of course that depends on your preferences, but the person starting out, they might not have the money or the resources to really afford a bookkeeper at that point. And it is harder to have like 50 small, tiny clients rather than like 5 large to medium-sized clients. So I really recommend, you want to have a variety because that is nice as well, but try to avoid having clients that are too small or even too big. I worked for my biggest client that I worked for. I went to their office and my job was so specialized that I actually didn't prefer that. So I was there just doing more menial tasks because there was an accountant that sat in the same office as me and worked with me, which it was a good learning experience, but I feel like I prefer clients that are more mid-size so that I can have a larger role, more of a financial planning role, and help them with their budgeting and advising rather than just paying bills and categorizing expenses. All right, and the third thing is know your value. It's really easy when you start out to not want to charge enough for your services. So especially as technology helps us do bookkeeping more quickly, the pricing structure has changed in the last even 10 or 20 years. So make sure you know the value that you're adding to your clients. Your expertise is helping them save time and money and get a clear picture of their finances, which is invaluable. So make sure you charge what you're worth. And also, I was really hesitant to spend money, which I think that was also just kind of the point I was at in my life. But if I would go back and do it again, I think it's okay to put a little bit of money into maybe marketing or some new technology for your business. I wanted to get the very cheapest software and do it, on a shoestring budget. Which again, that might depend on your stage of life, but at this point, I think spending a little money can go a long way. I hope those quick tips were helpful for you if you're starting a bookkeeping business. Let me know in the comments if you have a bookkeeping business and what questions you might have. I'm also going to do a Q&A coming up, a question and answer session, so leave any questions that you have for that in the comments. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, and a thumbs up is a huge compliment to me and that helps me out a lot. So thank you guys so much, and I'll be talking to you soon.